Oh my goodness!
So much fanfare.
There is a lot of fanfare.
First off, welcome to the EriDan Film Festival. Second, we did a theme. Shouldn't the theme have been Oscar winners?
That's a better theme.
That would have been a good theme for this week since the Oscars were last night.
Now you're thinking about the show. How nice of you.
Yeah, finally.
That's right. Finally. It only took 194 episodes for Dan to have a thought.
Wow, 194.
I know. How crazy is that? And we're still asking people to join us. After 194 times, we have told you to go to EriDanLive.com and join us. Talk movies.
Well, I just want to also say in 2 days, it will be the 4-year anniversary of the first live show I did up in my spare bedroom. Because it was Friday the 13th, 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic.
Wow.
And here we are.
And here we are, all these years later. And what has changed? I don't know. Well,
Not much.
Are you better off than you were 4 years? No, I didn't go there. I
absolutely am.
This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna tell you. The theme was animated movies, and I love a good animated movie. Unfortunately, This was not a good animated movie. No.
Okay, good. I'm glad you and I are on a similar page.
But no, we're going to talk about The Secret World of Arrietty. I got it right.
Yeah, I thought it was The Secret World of Ed, and Eddie, and they should have kept it a secret.
Oh, wow.
No, I kid. It wasn't that bad.
You kid. It was a movie. It's a movie. It's an animated film. And so we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the movie that we're going to watch for next week. And then we're going to pick somebody to choose the movie after that. And, and then we're going to talk. We've got so much to do. It's
much
fun-filled, wild evening of entertainment mayhem. And we want you to join us at EriDan.com. And even if you just want to pop in and say hi, you don't have to stay the whole time. You can just say hi. Is that fair?
Exactly. That's fair.
All right. So let's do a thing. Let's bring some people in.
People.
Oh no, it is 2020 all over again. No.
I've got my hand wipes.
That's good. That's good. I've got a fresh pack of toilet paper if anybody needs some.
You can take it off.
Hoarder.
You can take it off. That's what she said.
What?
He has RSV, so he's been on prednisone.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It's always something.
So
RSV stands for really sucky virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, that's the technical term.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
It makes you really tired. I mean, it was kind of like COVID in a way.
Yeah.
Speaking of tired.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Never tired.
You can put me next to Wade. I got my RSV vaccine.
Oh, nice.
Good job, because I got yelled at for not getting mine. And Wade did too. My mom said, he is now elderly. He needs to pay attention to
Yep.
Wow. Elderly Wade.
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
And I go down and I work. I mean, I'm doing my chaplain work down at UPMC Presbyterian, and they don't require you to have it. You have to be updated on COVID, but you can't. They don't require it yet. So,
well, is it a technical term? Chaplain? You're chapeling?
Yeah, chaplaining.
Chaplaining, yeah.
The older you get, the more of your mail is consisting of retirement homes and retirement planning seminars.
Yeah.
Or your death.
Occasionally you get the funeral home one. Those are really creepy.
Well, I have nowhere to go with that because I'm not about to say, speaking of creepy, because I don't know who ever can bring it up. You can't say speaking of death.
I'm leaving this transition to you, Dan.
Speaking of an awesome person.
Oh my gosh, Brian.
Was he bitten by a radioactive bride?
I appreciate that you didn't say speaking of death and all of that.
Yeah, we went happier for you.
Yeah.
Would brighter man meant you were bitten by a radioactive bride?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of radioactive.
Ooh, I'm radioactive.
Yeah, why not?
Is that the sound that goes with that? Is ooh.
You
I
should
don't
have
know.
a ghostly glow around you.
I'm not sure what the sound effect of.
I'm gonna taunt you with my radio.
What's the sound effect of radioactive?
Yeah,
Sound of a Geiger counter?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure I can pull that off, but I could work on that.
That's how I sound in the morning. It's okay. All right. All right. I think that's everybody.
We have 6 spots filled. If you want to jump in, you can jump in the comments. You can go to EriDanLive.com, follow the simple instructions, or you can just do nothing and just watch.
All right. And while you're
You know how
watching,
easy it is? There it is.
we'll tell you about the movie, shall we?
Yes.
We should talk about The Secret World of Arrietty. Bridget Mendler, John Henry, I have no idea. Amy Poehler, Will Arnett, Carol Burnett. Let's talk. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce the director or the screenplay writers. And we'll jump to the fact that they had a $23 million budget and worldwide made $150 million. The critics loving this movie at a 94, audience at an 85, chosen by Stacy for an animated movie of all the animated films in the world. This was the one.
Yeah. Well, because I've seen it a million times, I wanted to go somewhere, not a million, but
That's a lot.
probably 24 times in pieces.
Whoa.
And in pieces, not all the time. And not the whole way through, I mean. And then I wanted to do something different. And my kids found this because David Henry was on Wizards of Waverly Place. And Bridget Mendler, is that her name? Is that the right name?
I believe that is
Yes,
the correct
that's the right name.
Yeah, Bridget. And then Will Arnett, Carol Burnett, they love. And they love this movie. I brought it home from the library one day because I knew I didn't even know what it was. I thought I don't know why I brought it home, but I did. And they fell in love with it, all 3 of them. And to the point I had to buy it. So
Wow.
Scott said Arrietty's a weird way to spell Walter Mitty.
Now that's The Secret Life, not
That's
The
a
Secret
life.
World.
This is a whole world.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Speaking of the
Speaking
whole
of whole world,
One ring to the moon. One ring.
It's Brittany.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Woohoo.
Well, she's got disco going and everything.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's a party.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I literally just finished the movie like 5 seconds ago.
Oh, nice.
so you'll have very fresh comments.
Yeah.
It is
Back
interesting.
to Stacy.
I assume everybody watched the American dub and not the UK dub.
I want to see the UK dub. I didn't even know there was such a thing till today.
I watched like maybe 10 minutes of it just to get a feel for what was different. And it's hit or miss. I mean, I know that the UK people, because that's especially where the book was from, are really, that's how it should be. But it's a Japanese movie, so ultimately, who cares?
Well, I could say it had mellow Lego Batman in it.
Right.
Yes. But Amy Poehler gets a lot of love. Even a lot of people who like the UK version better really love Amy Poehler in her role. They think she brought a really good energy to it. There's more mixed as far as the casting of Sean and Arrietty.
Yeah. Yeah, because Saoirse Ronan is the British, and I'm assuming Tom Holland is Sean.
Yes, Tom Holland, yeah.
And so those are 2 big names as well over there.
You've got Lego Batman or Spider-Man. Which one do you want to...
Right.
So this is part of the Marvel or the DC. Yes.
So I am a big fan of The Borrowers. I was saying before the show began, there was a 1972 version of it with Eddie Arnold. Is that right? From Green Acres. And I saw it when I was about
Eddie Albert.
Eddie Albert. Thank you.
Yeah.
Eddie Arnold's a singer. And I saw it when I was about 3 or 4, maybe 5, and just was astounded by the fact that these little people could live in somebody's house, and was so excited. I loved it. It was just really captured my imagination. So when I found the book in 4th or 5th grade at the elementary school, it was just, I loved reading it. And so when the kids were watching it, the dozens of times that they did, it finally clicked in my head that this is what it was. And I had to look up the book and see if Arrietty was the name. I couldn't remember, but I just remembered the gist of the story. So that's why I like it, because it's a story I recognize. And now my kids have been exposed to that story, maybe in a different way, but in a way that they love. So
it is a little more of a kids movie than some Studio Ghibli stuff is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a kids only movie, like only kids can enjoy it, but it is, I think, more geared to a younger audience.
Yeah. And some of the other Studio Ghibli movies,
I've heard mainly Ghibli, yeah.
That my kids have watched, I am like, what is happening?
Hey, we commented on this. Amanda was, and one of her sisters, and Margaret and I went to see The Boy and the Heron, which won for Best Animated Feature last night.
I saw that.
And there are sort of 2 styles of Studio Ghibli movies. There are the straightforward, basic stories like Arrietty was. It tells a simple story, tells it in a very linear fashion. And then there are the almost Christopher Nolan-esque, mind-blowing head trip type of Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, you have your Spirited Away, Hell's Moving Castle, Boy and the Heron.
Yes. And The Boy and the Heron's weird because it sort of starts you off thinking it's one, and then it changes to the other right in the middle.
I know that they love Ponyo. And then there was one that I had
Delivery Service is another good one.
Then I had to order one that I couldn't find anywhere, and I can't remember which one it was.
I'm wondering if Adam maybe prefers the more mind trippy type of Ghibli than the more simple ones.
That's a hard one to read of Adam. I wouldn't know.
Wasn't Ghibli the character that Kristen Wiig did with the little hands and the big forehead?
With Fred Armisen as the band director.
Yeah, she had like the tiny little hands.
Fred Armisen playing the Lawrence Welk character, and she playing the really creepy.
Yeah.
With Rachel Dratch usually.
That was Gilly.
Gilly. All right, close enough.
No, Gilly was a different character. Gilly was the weird girl. Sometimes,
oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With the frizzy hair. Yeah.
Well, as I started watching this, the first thing I was like, okay, well, I like the animation. I like, it was kind of a cool. I went with that. I tried to find the positive because it was literally. I'm going to sound like Adam for a second. I was just bored.
Yes,
I was so bored. This is not. Now, see, this to me is the difference between a slow-paced movie and a boring movie. Right? This wasn't just slow-paced. I mean, I was literally spinning in my chair. What?
I was not bored by it.
Oh my gosh. It's such a great.
You don't have ADD.
Nothing happens. It's so boring.
And I think that's my biggest problem with this movie is that nothing happens, and the borrowers were always. It was an adventure story.
I feel there's such a great premise there for an adventure.
Yes, and there wasn't
some adventure.
It's a week in the life movie. I mean, it's not going to be a big adventure.
That's WEAK.
Out of curiosity, have you seen other Studio Ghibli movies? Because this feels very in line, like pacing wise, to their other movies. Like
I've seen Ponyo,
and it's just.
I like Ponyo. I like Spirited Away. This just, I even my 16-year-old halfway through was like, "All right, I think I'm done." And he loves this stuff.
Right.
The artwork was beautiful.
Yes.
It is beautiful. The music was terrible, though. So,
yes. Yes, it
I
was.
didn't. No, they also one of the things that they did on the American dub is Disney replaced the end credit song with a different song that they were
Yes.
pushing,
Which was the good
which
song.
typical Disney. And they also the lines at the end about the next summer when I return, that was all added by Disney. That wasn't in the original.
Yeah, so that there wasn't a question about his health after his surgery.
But there wasn't a question. The very opening line of the movie is, "I remember the week I spent in the house my mom grew up in."
Or was that added too?
No, that was in the original.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like the artwork. I love seeing the difference in texture and style in the garden and in her bedroom. I just there were things that were like looked very real and things that didn't look as real, and I like that it kind of added depth and texture to the film.
I love the outdoor scenes with the
Yes.
flowers and everything,
Yeah.
the pastoral scenes. Those are really beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you turn the sound off,
There was nothing happening.
but it was a very nice looking movie.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed a lot of the characterizations. Like, I really enjoyed most of the interactions the mom had whenever Arrietty would go out or do things, or whenever.
And don't forget the crow. That was an adventure.
The crow getting stuck in the window.
Oh, Richard laughed so hard when she pulled off that
Seriously, let's
slipper.
talk a little bit about this housekeeper.
She's a little creepy.
She's a bit mad, yeah. I don't.
She's so creepy.
So creepy.
She was probably getting blamed for things being missing a lot,
Yeah, you're starting to feel like, oh, I don't know why they need to move away, and then you're like, oh no, I see why they need to move away. Yeah, this is clearly not a good idea for them to stay.
Well, and also Sean was well intentioned, but man, just rip the top off of your house.
Yeah.
And
earthquake.
Basically throw you all into a panic and then drop this massive kitchen in here.
So Richard pointed out too, he thought that was really neat, like because he probably was actually being very gentle when he did it, like he was probably using minimal force, but just because of how small they are and how big he is.
Yeah.
Like that's just, and it just was funny, like to see, he really appreciated like the difference in perspective from like the big world to the little one,
Yeah, he certainly meant well, but it just was,
he's
the
just
difference
like a
in
kid
scale.
who just, is really curious and wants to help out, but it just has no idea to think through the consequences.
Now, do you find it interesting that 4-inch tall people have so many full-sized people items in their house? Like I was that took me away from it. The fact that they had books on their shelves and that they had
they did mention that,
the books had
they had shoes and socks. And,
well, they can make things.
Yeah, those are ones they made. Those are not ones they stole from humans.
And they did
there were tiny factories.
A lot of stuff in that house. That was a hoarded 4-inch house.
Well, they mentioned that like at some point that this was a house that they were like lucky to find or something. Like this is not like a house that they have just been living in for like 10 years. It seems like this is a historical house of different families of borrowers. So I'm sure it's like built up over time.
The fact they had these tunnels, they had the nails driven into the interior walls to act as stairs.
See, I
Clearly
appreciated
just
that
for a very long time.
I appreciate sometimes Pixar does things when they're dealing with things of small scale where they're using other items as a table. They might use a matchstick book as their table or whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that they
Maybe like a pin as a sword?
What?
Like a pin as a sword?
A pin as a sword.
Yeah, I will say I do wish there had been more of that because early on they have her putting the hair clip in, and that was like huge. But there's not. I do wish there had been more of that.
I would have liked
in the
to see
book
her
there
use
was.
the pin as a sword.
Yeah.
I wanted to see her stab somebody. I was really disappointed that she never stabbed anybody.
I was kind of thinking that the housekeeper would get her too, and then that's what she would use to kind of get herself out of it, was to poke her with the pin.
See, there you go.
So
Or defend herself against the cat.
Yeah.
Until the cat came
I was
around.
hoping just to hear the dad once say, "It's an illusion, Michael, not a trick." It's an Arrested Development show.
I expected the dad to look into the camera and go, "Because
Come
we
on."
are the borrowers."
So we're okay with these thieves living in our house. We're good with this.
Yeah.
I made a huge mistake.
I mean, they're grabbing like one sugar cube
Right,
and like
take a
one
sugar cube.
one tissue at a
I
time.
know,
like-
And how long is that lasting?
Referring
then,
to yourself as a borrower is a pretty. I don't think that's.
It's a bit of a it's a bit of a self
They're stealing.
defensive Oh, we were just borrowing. We'll never
They're
get
not giving it back, are they?
Borrowing.
No, they're not giving anything back.
You don't know that.
We-
I got to read the book again to remember, because I think they did return things if they didn't need them anymore. But I don't. That's just might be my memory.
That's not the way borrowing works.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they're going to stuff the tissue back into the tissue box in any sort of
Yeah.
effective
So,
way.
like the
give back the
spool,
sugar cube.
like the
Yeah.
spool that they used for the table in the book. See, you said that, Amanda, that they didn't do that in the book in the movie, and that's true. That it would have made really good visuals if they had done that. If they had the spool that was the table and the
Yeah,
different things like that.
Oh,
I think
I
that
will
was
say that maybe one weakness was they spent more time on Sean and the beings than they did on the borrowers, and I think the movie maybe would have been a bit better with more time spent with the borrowers.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I did very much enjoy Spiller
Yeah.
his characterization when he
Oh, he
showed
can
up.
fly. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, you get why Arrietty's like amazed by it.
Plus, he's the only other boy
Oh, yeah.
near her age he's ever met.
Right.
And I love his smile. He just seems like this like really chill.
And his communication style.
Aw.
It's very teenage boy.
They're pulling out the
Ask me
cricket
how I
leg and
know.
offering it around to everybody, and then just
That's funny.
It's even more than teenage boy. It sometimes goes well into adulthood. Tim
Yeah.
Allen built an entire stand-up routine around it.
Like we were getting close to the end of the movie and I knew I was gonna be a few minutes late and I almost messaged in the group and was like, listen, like if this freaking boy dies, like running to save her, I'm like envisioning like how I'm like, okay, so he's gonna have a heart attack or something, and then she's gonna have to ride the cat back to the house and tell the aunt, and then the aunt's gonna be able to save him, and it's gonna be the little people's fault, and then they're gonna have a nice happy relationship for the rest of forever because
You didn't remember the first line of the movie where, I remember the week I spent at the house my mom grew up in.
that's
Well,
it.
even if he didn't die, at least if he had a mild cardiac arrhythmia.
Well, right. I figured they would like,
You
yeah.
have
that
Arrietty
she
sitting
would-
on his chest.
Yeah,
With a pin. With the
yeah, with the pin. That's
That's
right.
Oh my God.
See, that would have been an exciting movie.
Well, see,
And
and
then I
that's
was kind of like bummed that like he didn't come back at like the end, and like she had now had a family and had moved back into the house, and he had kids, and they all like, I was
That's
like, this
what
would be
The
fun.
dollhouse. You want
I
them to go and live in the dollhouse.
Yeah,
If this were
that's how
Pixar
it
or
was
Disney,
made.
that would be in the 3 sequels that they put out.
that's fair.
Yes.
Well,
Well, we did go way past the
Really?
20-minute mark by 3 minutes.
well,
we're way past.
Way past. Oh,
Whoa, the conversation got.
I have to keep things going.
I am so bored with this
Now
conversation.
we're okay.
Adam's
Yeah.
here.
Now we can go ahead and move ahead. Shall
All
we?
right, let's
You
let's
want
score
to-
this puppy.
All right, hold on. Wait, there's a graphic. Wait, here it is.
All right, since I chose it. Again, this type of movie is not my favorite. Like I said, we've watched a few with the kids. The other one that that they made me get was called When Marnie Was Here. So
Your sister. So your sister was visiting, and what
Yeah.
happened?
so
Oh, that was the name of the movie.
that's the name of the movie. It's,
were those
Oh.
directed by the same? Because I know Arrietty was the first time directing of one
Yes.
of someone at Studio Ghibli. And I
He was also very young.
Yona Bayashi.
yeah, and I think when Marnie was there was another one, but was the second one by the same guy. So I guess yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
was 4 years later.
Mhm.
I know we picked that one because that's my sister's name.
Ah.
We had to get that. Marnie is my sister. So Aunt Marnie's movie. So I don't remember it, but Wade watched it.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. So it must have been really
Yeah.
gripping.
So it's just not a style of movie that I watch. But like I said earlier, The Borrowers is one of my favorite stories. And so I can appreciate the storyline that's somewhat there. I don't remember the human beings being such a prevalent characterization or whatever in the book. They probably were. I remember the old lady more than anything. So not the kid. It's a beautiful movie. The music is not my favorite, but reading some of the reviews today, I'm like, oh, okay, I see why they like it. All right. And they didn't approach the story the way I felt they could have. Maybe it is definitely in line with how they do their other films. I don't know, but I just think that The Borrowers should have been more. They had so many. The reason that it pulled me in as a kid, it was because they were living in this little tiny space and nobody knew about them, and it was really cool to me. So that they didn't really show that enough. I think I'm going to give this an 87.
87.
All right. Wait.
Yeah, I like the animation. I like some of the Japanese style animation, and actually, a lot of the Japanese background in it was interesting, and having been there for a while, kind of brought back some memories. So I like that part. And then the story was okay and cute. And I know when my girls watched it, I think they liked it because Arrietty was a girl going out on an adventures and stuff like that. And, we never did anything like that, but close. Tried to, but
If we ask them now, they'll go, we just like the people who were in it.
Yeah, probably. It's probably what it was. But. So so I'll give it. I was thinking we're going to go for like an 80 on it also.
80 what?
80.
80 0. That's an 800.
Yeah. I did enjoy the movie. There are ways that it could have been better to me.
Mm-hmm.
It certainly isn't among my top tier of Studio Ghibli movies, but I just find it a very pleasant movie. And again, I also try to view it as geared toward a younger audience than some of the Ghibli stuff. And with that in mind, that does impact my score to a bit, because I really do think that it was successful at that level. I mean, you mentioned how much your kids loved it when they saw it, and I think that's sort of the age more that it was targeting than our age. It was a beautifully made movie with some flaws, but I enjoy it. Very nice. I probably won't watch it again for a few years, but I bet I'll watch it again. And The Borrowers is a great story, so that it has that going for it, even though it didn't quite take full advantage of that. So I give it an 80.
80.
I will say too, this is the first time that I ever watched it the whole way through.
Not just snippets here and there.
I think I've seen it about 5 times through.
So. Yeah, so that made it better actually for me. I was like, I never saw that.
Well, there you go, Brian.
I don't have the streaming service that this was on.
Oh, bummer.
Well, then your score is
I'm probably watch it at some point, but I can't give it a score. I'm sorry.
It's infinite.
That's okay. Let's go over to Amanda.
Yes, I'm a big Studio Ghibli fan. I have this and most Studio Ghibli movies on Blu-ray. So we just watched that. They go on sale periodically, so there was a good Ghibli sale years back that I got a bunch of them in. This one's really, really a nice one. I haven't seen this one in a while. And I think it's in line with a lot of the more chill stories. I think the world building and the characterization is really strong, so I don't mind the plot being a little slow because I enjoy watching those characters, and I think they were established really well. I think this is, and the animation is lovely. I agree that the music is fine, but it's not up to normal Studio Ghibli standards, which is usually very good. But otherwise, I like this movie a lot. I would give it 93.
93.
Nice.
Woo.
93. Look at that. All right. I'm a bean.
It's the party.
Can't hear you.
Are you muted?
Not hearing you at all.
Okay, hear me now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, you are.
Oh, good. Okay. This is the first time I've seen this movie. I also like the Studio Ghibli movies. But this, I don't know how I hadn't heard of this. And I said to Richard that this was the movie. And he's like, I've seen the trailer. I've heard lots of really good reviews. Let's watch it. He was all excited. So we got to sit down and watch it together today, which was nice. And I definitely agree with some of the comments. It was really slow paced. I definitely expected it to be a little bit faster and more adventurous. And that was kind of disappointing, I think, because I wanted to see more. And I felt like they spent so much time on things that to me weren't necessary. but I was like invested in it, and I was like trying to figure out what happens next and what are all the ways that this could work out or not work out, or just all of that. And so it was really good. I just wish there was more, like not like in length, but just in content. So I think I'll say 80.
80.
All right. We have to wait for Adam's score in the comments, which, by the way, Adam, we guessed beforehand what you're going to score tonight. And one of the things Adam said is something I agree with. Well, not completely, but I like the animation. But I just was like, yeah. I mean, I'm going to give it a 70. It was a solid C.
There you go. I was so bored and disappointed and just wow. It's such a great concept, and there's so much that could have been done, and it was slow paced and it didn't lead to anything.
What about when Ant-Man showed up?
The one?
What about when Ant-Man showed up?
That would have been better. Everything we've talked about would have been better. So I did not enjoy this. I really will avoid this movie in the future at all costs. So I'm going with a 55.
Wow.
It's better than Time Cop, but not by much.
Wow.
I really did not have a good time, and about halfway through, I was questioning how much more time there was left. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do we still have 45 minutes left in this movie? So I ended up at a 55. But Adam,
wow,
with a 55.
Look at this.
There we go.
The story you've been told in 45 minutes. It was very slow in a lot of spots, very weak. Studio Ghibli movie. Like the animation, though. 35. Wow. Wade on the nose.
Wade wins on the high side.
Gets a 35.
Wow.
Well, I did say I gave a range, and I wouldn't have gone as high as 35. But I did say lower.
Well, it stays in the Ryder family. The Ryders
leave Wade his moment.
His RSV, which stands for really super volume score.
Okay.
Really scores video.
Yeah.
Really scores video. There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, there we have it. I don't know if my mom watched this or not, now that I think about it. Mom, are you watching?
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
here's something.
Oh, well, there we go.
The Japanese culture really rang true to the story of the movie. A lot of their values and the degree of entertainment differs so much from American culture. What they find funny, we typically don't. So what they find is normal pace, we find slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
That's
agree.
more than fair. Yep.
Yeah. Japanese TV was really interesting when I was there.
Oh, their game shows. They kill each other on the game shows.
I know. That's crazy.
My mom says her YouTube isn't working. Search EriDan Film Festival, couldn't find it. She'll send me a score as soon as her phone comes back to life. She just text me the score.
I'm very confused.
Maybe she means she didn't watch it. Who knows?
No, she watched it, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, there was a problem with the link early on.
It's true.
Dave
That's the link to join the show, not to watch the show.
I see.
So she might be watching. She's not watching. She saw the movie, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, then we'll hold off on giving the final score. But if you're watching and you in the comments, feel free to drop a score of 1 to 100 of what you would. And there we go.
Yeah, Soulwave 1227. You can put in a score.
Yeah, absolutely.
I completely agree with that. I still love hand-drawn animation.
Yeah.
Yes.
They did a really good job.
I can really enjoy computer animation as well. You know, the best Pixar stuff is still really impressive, but there's nothing that can ever quite compare to that classic style.
This is very true.
Do we know who this is?
I don't know who Soulwave is. But
and if we don't know them, how did you find us?
Well, we're out there.
I know, but I'm curious. They have an answer.
They're on Twitch. They're on Twitch.
Oh, that's right. They're on Twitch. There you go.
We still do so the show's only right now. We've got people on the EriDan YouTube page and then my Facebook page. So we're going to drop my YouTube page and we're going to drop. It'll just be on EriDan pages, just like we're doing with Caryata. So, and probably mainly YouTube because YouTube seems to be the best.
Studio Ghibli for winning Best Animated Feature last night.
Yeah. I did not get to watch the Oscars yet. Did anybody watch
What?
the Oscars? Well, we had company.
How did that happen?
Did you see Scarlett Johansson on Saturday? Did you see Scarlett Johansson on Saturday Night Live?
I did see Scarlett Johansson.
I sent him that right away.
Absolutely. That
was funny.
Well, we can move on.
I love the way she held her hands.
I love the hands. Yeah. No.
I love the QVC was great too.
The whole bit was really spot on. And here we go.
So wait, there's more. Oh,
go ahead.
Lastly, the sound design was immaculate. Every single contact of a hand or finger or surface, every footstep, every clink, thud, scratch, zip, breeze, bush, boing, bubble, rumble, etc. was accounted for. Also, they made small sounds huge in perspective. Amazing job from Ghibli.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Oh, I think that's the movie. That's why it got as high as it did for me because the movie itself was good.
So yeah.
And now we've got Brittany talking to. Do you know who this is, Brittany?
I can either confirm or deny this information.
Oh. Let's zoom in on this. Hold on. Let's zoom in on the picture behind her. Wait a minute.
It's hard to say.
No.
Wait, what's on the right side of the screen back there?
It looks like a beholder, I believe.
It does look like a beholder.
I see over here on the. I see a similar logo. So, okay.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Richard.
Oh.
We haven't had a score from Richard in a long time.
It's been a long time. That would be awesome to hear from
No, he does a really awesome job taking care of the baby, so I can be here.
No,
he gave it a solid 90.
Good. No. It does matter.
Yeah. It does matter.
Scores matter. All scores matter.
Absolutely. All scores matter.
Even Adam's 30.
Even Adam's score matters.
Now, speaking of that, he brings up a good point. He liked Oppenheimer a lot, but the holdovers should have won Best Picture. I think that is true, and I think
Giamatti should have won for Best Actor.
Yes. And when I walked out of Oppenheimer, I said to Josh, I said, Robert Downey Jr. is going to win an Oscar for this. So his two Oscar nominations were playing a black man and playing a Jewish man.
Wasn't he nominated for Chaplin?
And playing a Jewish man.
Okay.
So playing two Jewish men and a black man. Now, if he does Sammy Davis Jr., if he ends up playing him, he's going to win another Oscar.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see if we hear from Dan's mother. At the moment, Secret World of Arrietty beats out robots and Power Rangers.
Good.
Wow.
Coming in at a 74.44.
I've got my mom's.
Barely beating Power Rangers.
Just barely.
Hold on. Stop the presses.
Cody would be so disappointed.
He was on earlier.
Was he?
Yeah.
He was driving.
He was driving.
The movie was a very sweet story, and my mom gives it an 85.
Yeah.
That'll raise it a little bit.
Yeah. A couple of points.
Maybe.
So our last two scores were 90 and 85.
Did you say 85?
85.
85.
Staying alive.
That does help. That does bump it up.
Beats out 127 hours now.
Yeah, look at that. It does beat.
Take that, James Franco.
That's right. He should have known better.
Good riddance.
It's gonna
just like Richard Marx.
Let me see here. There we are. Now at a 75.50 would be The Secret Life of Arrietty, tying with Radio and beating out 8-Bit Christmas.
There
you go.
Tying with Radio.
Radio is not bad.
No, it isn't.
Absolutely. I would put them in the same ballpark. So there you go.
Yeah.
But
what were you spinning in your chair for Radio too?
I was a little bored during Radio, but maybe not as bored as I was for this. Wow. Yeah, I'm still mesmerized by how not mesmerized I was. But that's all right. So next week, we already know that we will be watching The Watchmen. That's was Scott's choice from last week. And Watchmen, I believe, I forget where we said that's streaming.
It's not streaming on Max
Oh,
and
we still
Amazon.
have that for a few more days.
Yeah, we got to watch it.
It's $4 on Amazon.
$4 on Amazon.
$4 on YouTube.
Everywhere, basically.
By the way, I just found out Max is not. They said in June they're going to start breaking down on password sharing. So, just saying, somebody wants to share their password.
Do it now.
I own Watchmen, so it's
I don't
all
think
good.
breaking down is the right term, isn't it?
This one's going to be tough.
Cracking down.
I've seen
Thank
the
you.
movie.
Cracking down. You're
What
not
I said.
cracking down.
It's all my acne, Eric.
ChatGPT was a little rough, I thought, on your acne.
What's with my acne and ChatGPT and you? I was told yesterday I look 35 right now with a hat on.
And you told
Yes.
me.
Skin is, look at this skin.
Absolutely, you look 16 with all
Dog
that.
years. In Dan years.
And Dan years.
That's right.
I sort of
see
agree
it.
with Adam on this. We'll get into obviously more next week. I think I would have probably liked Watchmen more if I'd never read the graphic novel.
And I never did. So
I didn't either.
honestly, I only saw the movie once, so I don't really even remember most of it.
I have
think
read the
it's
graphic novel
all
but
right.
never seen the movie, so we'll see.
Yeah. I haven't read the graphic novel. I think the movie's all right, but it's not like my favorite.
Find out next week. As I say, it's been so long since I've seen it. I can't even comment whether I thought it was worthwhile or not.
Yeah, I haven't seen it since my freshman year of college, which was a long time ago.
But now we have to also pick a movie person picker for 2 weeks from now. So let's do that. Not season 4. Okay. So by my calculations, which are very scientific, Stacy, Dave, Brian, and myself have not chose a movie in 2024 as of yet. That was part of a regular week.
Did Dan's mom choose one?
Dan chose Private Parts.
Dan's mom.
Dan's mom chose The Creator.
That's right.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yes. Amanda chose Zoolander. Adam chose Star Trek. Wade chose Ford versus Ferrari. So there. That's where I'm at. Does that sound right to everybody?
That does sound right.
Enough? Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So here we go.
So the answer, wait, we have a question.
Oh, wait, Richard.
What happened to the wheel? Well, we don't do the you get one spot each time and then it ends up we just go through once you're on, you're off, and then you're eliminated.
Yeah.
But if Richard wanted to be on the wheel and was
Richard, this would be a wonderful chance to be a part of getting to choose the movie for 2 weeks from now.
It is not next week. It is 2 weeks from now.
That would be the
That's right. Next week
25th.
will be The Watchmen.
Are we not doing shows anymore?
What was that?
At least not now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're taking a break while we try to figure some stuff out.
Yeah, you're good.
It was very hit or miss with the TV.
It was a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, I think we're throwing Richard on here. I have a feeling.
All right, he's got 20% chance here.
All right, there we have it. All right, I'm giving this a shuffle. Dink. And there we go. He's taking his 20%. Let's find out. Does that pay off for him?
Ooh.
Who will choose? You have a whole week to pick your movie, so we don't want you to pick a movie tonight. Brian!
Brian!
My goodness!
Whoa.
How
I
about
don't
I'm
think
excited.
Brian.
All right.
Brian? You have a whole week to think about what movie.
Am I picking an animation or was
No.
that just
It could be
Wide
any
open.
world. Animation.
Wide open.
Documentary.
That was 1 week of animation. So no, you get to pick any movie in the whole world that
all
is
right?
probably streaming somewhere.
Do you know what I last chose? Because I have no idea what I even last chose.
I can.
Was it Pitch Perfect? You did choose that.
It might have.
That was a long time ago. When was your last pick?
Man, it has been a long time.
Oh, I guess.
It's been a while.
Pitch Perfect.
I
That's
told
the
you.
last one. Oh, wow.
Mine chose Pitch Perfect, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire,
Yeah.
White Christmas, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, The Neverending Story, Stardust, And, and A Christmas Prince.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
It was funny for me. I'll choose one that's not like that. I'll put some thought into it.
Well, you
have a whole week. You can research it, find out, everything you want to know about it.
With all of the history of cinema to choose from.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I first started, like I was like, oh, I know a ton of movies that I want to pick, and then like they're not streaming anywhere. Like it makes me mad.
That's the problem with a lot of the older movies is they don't necessarily because I'm into a lot of older movies and that does limit you. Yeah.
A lot of times, though, I find if you just check YouTube, somebody put them up on YouTube, and somehow they're still there. Every once in a while, something will get on.
There's Casablanca, for example, is on Amazon. There are places you can see some of the classics.
Yeah.
Well, so not only will Brian announce his movie next week, Dan will be announcing the double feature for April next week.
Oh, wait. Next week, what time is my flight? Hold on a minute.
Well, I don't know. Wouldn't it be weird if I knew what time your flight was?
I might actually be on. If I'm on the plane during the show, I will message in. I will not be on live, but I will be in the comments.
Now, we can talk about the fact that not next week, but the week after that, I'm assuming we need to move that show because that is April 1st.
Yeah, I won't be here.
It's my wife's birthday. It's April Fool's Day.
So do we want
Stacey won't be here.
Are we moving that to March 31st? Or are we doing that on Sunday?
That's Easter.
That's Easter. We're not doing that.
We can't do it on April Fool's Day, but we can do it on Easter.
So we can do it on the 2nd.
I can't be there then either.
Oh. No.
So, and I'll be at a dinner in Harrisburg. So.
Wow, then.
Now, what are the thoughts of starting
from there?
Well, let's have a committee meeting real quick. I call it to order. What are the thoughts of in April on the 2nd, officially just moving us to Tuesday nights instead of Monday nights?
I think that's a terrible idea.
It seems like we have a lot of holiday conflicts on Mondays. There's some work things that Eric said happen and I've had happen.
What is the conflict on April 1st?
Yeah, what was wrong with April 1st?
It's his wife's birthday.
It's my wife's birthday. I won't be on.
That's fair.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a comedian. I have a wife with a birthday on April Fool's Day and a son named Josh. Just joshing you. Thank you. Wow, Eric, the timing. But what thoughts of moving to Tuesdays instead of Mondays?
I don't think regularly on Tuesdays is a good idea.
Wade works on Tuesdays.
Well, I'm usually home in time, but then there are a couple nights where I have meetings. I have to be out
all right.
Tuesdays, but that's all.
Committee meetings.
So Tuesday the 2nd works for me.
Right, we'll plan
Monday
on
the 18th. Monday the 18th, I'll be on the airplane, so I'll try to listen. I'll try to log in from the airplane, but see how the Wi-Fi is.
What do you order next week? Do you need us to move to Tuesday?
I can't because I've got work stuff in Atlanta on Tuesday.
No.
Did you say Monday the 18th?
He did say that, yes.
Oh, that's next Monday.
That is
I was
Right.
still in April, and I was like, no, Monday's the 15th in April. That's the next time I'll be back.
That's
Yeah,
the
Monday
next
the-
time you'll be back. Oh,
That's
no.
my next
And
Monday
I'll be on
off
an
is the
airplane that
15th.
night too, flying back from Pittsburgh
On
Yeah,
the
that's
15th?
true.
Oh yeah.
on
And
April
the 25th,
15th.
Amanda will be coming back from PAX.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, there's just going to be so many things happening.
You're all in
Let's
the
just
air.
take it one week at a time, okay?
All right.
1 week at a time.
So we'll be back
All right.
to next Monday, is what we're saying, basically.
Next Monday is definite.
All right, fair enough. Shall we move on?
Sure.
Yes.
We've been
All right,
watching.
nothing. Oh,
No, we've been
Yeah, me
watching
next.
Resident Alien because Dave brought it up. I think Dave brought it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
We binged the first season on Saturday.
Oh, my goodness.
It's only a 10 episode season, but still, they're like 50-minute episodes.
Yeah,
they're pretty long.
and we started the second season on Sunday. Yeah, yesterday.
Mhm.
And I don't like it as much as I like the first season. There's some weird
The
vibe. in there.
ratings, if you look at the IMDb ratings, the second season does not rate as highly as the first season.
How many seasons are there?
They just started season 3 about a month ago.
Okay, good to know. It's interesting. Cute.
It's still good. The second season to me is still good, but it's not as consistent.
Yeah. I just get some weird vibes from it. I don't know what it is. It's just something. I think it's the characters' interactions with each other are not consistent within an episode sometimes. So it's weird.
That is weird.
But it's good.
I've never seen it.
We went to see Kung Fu Panda 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was cute. Yeah.
It's cute. It's enjoyable. It's worth seeing. It's not great, but it's good.
Reagan
If
is
you like
hoping
the
that that's
first
on the
movie, you'll probably
airplane on the way
enjoy
back. Reagan is hoping that that's going to be on the airplane on the way back.
Oh,
It has some major plot holes, but it's a fourth movie in an animated series. I mean, what do you expect?
Plot holes. Wow.
I think the odds of that being, I mean, it just came out. I don't think it'll be on an airplane.
Yeah, it's like this for opening weekend.
The interesting thing was there were only 3 previews. There was a preview for Despicable Me 4, a preview for the Garfield movie, and a preview for the Inside Out sequel.
Wow.
And by far the strongest, and there were a lot of kids in the theater, as you might expect. The strongest reaction by far was for Despicable Me 4.
Oh yeah!
Wow. Well, and with Kung Fu Panda 4, you get the Jack Black version of "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time."
Yeah, that was interesting.
We're driving back from the theater after having heard that, and Margaret puts on the Broadway channel on XM, and they're playing "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" from Anne Juliet.
Wow.
Well, there you
So
go.
speaking of previews, I went to see Dune 2, which I don't think it was as good as the first one, but I mean it was pretty good. You knew where it was going, but but I think they played about a half hour of previews before the movie started.
Yeah,
I mean,
It depends on the theater. We used to really like to go to the Manor Theater in Squirrel Hill because they didn't have all the ads and previews before the movie. You got to the movie really quickly, which was great.
Has Kung Fu Panda run its course like Shrek?
Pretty much. It was, like I said, it was enjoyable. If you loved the franchise, if you're a huge Jack Black fan, you'll enjoy it. But it's not going to say, oh, no, I can't wait for 5. Yeah.
Oh no, you're telling me they left off with a teaser for 5? They left the plot with more places to go.
Adam says, and I agree, the latest episode of Curb, actually you're a week off, Adam. That's 2 weeks ago. That's not yesterday's episode. Laugh out loud funny, the whole storyline with the bricks. Yeah, you have to really get into Curb to understand it. But this last night's episode was, I mean, literally laugh out loud funny. like sitting there watching it by myself and laughing like my father used to laugh watching Seinfeld. Although he did it for every episode. Even after he'd seen him 30 times, he still laughed. But the thing that's great about it is because they improvise the lines, when they're laughing on the show, they're really laughing. And you could just tell that they cracked each other up because they're just laughing hysterically. Basically, she gets a bill. Jeff is Larry's manager, and his wife is selling these rags, these dresses, and she's got a billboard, and somebody spray paints something. We'll just leave it at that to keep it clean. Yes, and they're just talking about it, and it is so freaking funny. And I have a feeling there's going to be some sort of Seinfeld finale fix because they keep mentioning it almost every episode.
That's it.
Because Lori Loughlin was on last night, and they did a whole storyline about her cheating the system for everything, which was hysterical that she played along with it. And Ted Danson was like, wasn't she on Seinfeld with you? And he's like, no, that was season 7. I wasn't there. He goes, oh, that's right. You weren't there the last 2 years, but you did the finale, didn't you? Yes, I did the finale. And that's like the 4th time they've said it this season. Oh, wow. So I have a feeling the finale of this is going to have something to do with the finale of Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
We have not finished watching Saturday Night Live. We watched up through Weekend Update. It's not great, but Josh Brolin is really fun because he is one of these people that has no reservations about making a total fool of himself. Yeah,
and he's very talented.
Yeah, he is. He is.
I thought this was the best episode of the year so far, of this season.
There was one earlier in the season. I can't remember which one it is. I'd have to go back and look, that I thought was the best so far. But again, we haven't finished it yet. And sometimes the best sketches are in the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, like Wayne's World. That was the final sketch the night it premiered.
Well, David S. Pumpkins, wasn't that a late sketch?
I love David S. Pumpkins. It's still my favorite.
I've never heard of that.
So so good.
Oh,
I'll look it up.
It's fantastic. So we're watching a series from 2020. We haven't finished it yet, and probably half of you have seen the whole thing and are like, "That's so old." But we've started watching The Queen's Gambit.
That was good.
No, I never saw this.
I never watched it either.
It's so good.
I really enjoyed it.
It is tremendous. It's 8 episodes. They go down really quick. It's so good. If you're human, you should enjoy this.
It was right up there with one of the most Only Murders in the Building, Severance, and Queen's Gambit were all shows that came out really early in the pandemic, and you were never quite sure. And Ted Lasso, you were never quite sure, is this getting so much hype because people are stuck at home and have nothing else to do, or are they really that good?
Yeah. My wife she blatantly said I had no interest in watching this because I'm not interested in chess at all. She is loving this series so much.
Cool.
I said it's just 8 episodes. It's just awesome in so many ways. I love it.
Well, it made Anya Taylor-Joy a star in very short order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she was the Oscar presenter last night.
Highly recommend. We also watched. We finished Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is streaming on Amazon Prime.
That movie.
Which we thought. Well, actually, it's not the movie. It's a TV series. It's
an
series that they made, very loosely based on the movie.
Very loosely, in the same way that the Angelina Jolie was very loosely based on the original movie.
Yes. Yeah. So, but it's an enjoyable series. It goes by pretty quick. It'll be very interesting to see if they get a season 2. If they do a season 2, I will just say that.
The final season of the Umbrella Academy is coming out sometime in a few months.
Oh wow!
That's on my list, but I still haven't watched any season of it.
Oh, it's
on my list.
very good.
I watched
it.
The
Is very
first
good.
2
very
seasons and enjoyed it, but then
it looks very odd.
That is right up my alley as far as the kind of show I enjoy a lot.
It's not always great, but when it is great, it is really great.
It is beyond brilliant. Yes, it is. Yeah. I might have to do a watch of the first 3 seasons before this next.
I at least need to rewatch the last couple of episodes of the previous season just to remember. Although I do remember the very ending, how they left it. But yeah.
Every one of their seasons has had a dramatic cliffhanger. So.
Yes, very much so.
Yes.
It's nice to know they knew going into the season it was the final season, so you don't worry about that problem.
Yes. Yeah, because that would sting.
Because I hate when that happens.
Soap? Anybody? No. So I'm still burning from the ending of Soap.
That was so terrible.
Remember when they had the cliffhanger at the end of the one episode at the one season of Third Rock from the Sun with was it with Phil Hartman or with Jan Hooks, one or the other, who then they died between seasons, and they had to sort of rework the way they resolved the cliffhanger because they lost a major actor.
Not good.
No.
The fun of cliffhangers.
What have you been watching, Brittany?
I was gonna say we have been watching. It's super cheesy, but Shadow Hunters on Hulu. It's like Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, like stuff like that. The acting is terrible. It's so bad, but it's so much fun. And so we've been watching that like at night before bed. We've been doing that for a little while, but then we have I guess over like the last week though we haven't watched a whole lot because proud wife moment. I'm gonna brag. There was the Pennsylvania State, the VNEA billiards tournament was this weekend. So everybody in the state came up to Erie and played at the Bayfront Convention Center.
Cool.
First place, his team took first place in their division.
Wow.
Oh,
They
nice.
beat out, they beat out 58 teams. So there was like over 2,000 people there playing, and his two of his teammates played singles, and the one kid took first in singles, the other kid took seventh in singles, and then their team in their division beat out 58 other teams.
Wow.
So he was there. Yeah, he was there Saturday. We didn't leave until like 2:00 in the morning. Well, 1:00 in the morning, which was really 2:00 in the morning because we sprung forward an hour.
Saturday night, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had to be back at 8 a.m. for them to play again Sunday, and they had started at noon on Saturday. So like noon to 2 a.m. and then 8 a.m. I think they finally finished at like 20 to 7 last night, got their trophies and stuff. So it was, and like some of the teams had to stay and play. They didn't leave until 4:45 in the morning on Sunday, and then had to be back at 8 to play. Like it's nuts. So it was really cool. So I watched a lot of billiards.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
I think The Hustler is probably the all-time best pool movie. I know some people like The Color of Money more, but I'm all for The Hustler.
I don't think I've seen that, but now I have to watch it.
Jackie Gleason. Oh yeah, his best movie by far.
Not Smoking the Bandit.
It's not really a pool movie, is it?
Well, you said his best movie.
Oh yeah, no. Buford T. Justice is not really a classic character. I mean, it's fun.
Wow.
So you're saying it's the best Jackie Gleason pool movie? Okay.
No, I'd say the best Jackie Gleason performance on screen, to be honest.
Oh
wow!
As Minnesota Fats, yeah.
He had to lose weight for that role.
Currently streaming on Flix Fling.
Great.
I'm not.
Yeah, The Color of Money was a loose sequel to it.
Flix Fling or on
Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, I think I've
What
seen
the hell is Flix Fling?
That's what I was thinking.
It's the new Quibi.
It is. That might be the new. Who knows?
But it's also on lots of other services, just not free.
Yes. Flix Fling. Oh my
There
God.
it is. Watch movies online. 5,000 plus movies, including cult classics and new releases.
Whoa.
Who owns this? This has got to be somebody. Members can always also rent and buy new great releases. Never any ads. Try it for free.
It's owned by Fubo. No, I have no idea.
That's its own company, looks like.
Well, there you go.
Oh, they'll get bought
Everybody's
out by
got their own
somebody.
streaming service now. Why not?
The consolidation over the next 2 years is going to be incredible as so
Oh,
many of these
yeah.
services merge.
Have you guys talked about what Disney's doing lately?
Will you be pulling stuff off of Disney Plus or something else?
Oh no, they sold like their distribution to Sony.
Oh,
Yeah,
I hear that.
like
Interesting.
yeah.
We were talking to Motor Trend TV about the sitcom, and they said, "Yeah, something's about to happen. We can't talk about." And then they announced that Motor Trend Plus, their streaming service, is now part of Max.
Motor Trend Plus.
So now they're just sticking with all the, as he called it, big beer belly bearded guys staring at transmissions.
Well, there's your next
With those
series.
shows.
There's your next series.
Yeah.
Grow a beard, put on some weight. You and Rafi.
So we've got two other networks that are looking right now, which is exciting.
Nice.
Hopefully, by the time I come to Pittsburgh, we'll have news. A little over a month from now. We bought the tickets. You coming, Dave?
I have no idea. I haven't even looked at the calendar. When is it?
It's Saturday, the 13th of April.
Wade's birthday.
Wade's birthday. We have to all be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm having it's supposed to be minor. I am having arthroscopic knee surgery late March.
Oh.
And chances are I'll only be on crutches for a week, but there's a chance I might not be able to put any weight on it for a month, depending what they find when they get in there. So I have no idea.
What are your symptoms? I'm having a knee issue right now. What are your symptoms?
I have a torn meniscus.
How do you know you have a torn meniscus?
They did an MRI.
Oh, but how did you know? Like before you got the MRI, what made you go?
Pain, clicking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Clicking.
The clicking was.
I get an occasional burning sensation on my kneecap. It gets tight and feels like it's hot.
I think your pants are too tight.
Burning sensation.
On my kneecap, Wade.
Well, you should have seen Eric laughing about it. That's what I was laughing at.
It's an illusion, Michael.
That's where my mind went to.
I've made a huge mistake.
Try going the other direction.
Oh, that's probably why.
Stop peeing down your leg.
Wow. Doctor, it burns when I pee.
My knee is still warm. Well, then,
A burning sensation could be something.
I was gonna say.
and a little damp.
I love how I just set you guys up and just sit here and enjoy it.
But
Such a classy show there for such a little short period of time.
Hey, how about Richard's happy he's back?
Like in all seriousness though, yeah, like a burning sensation could be something to do with your nerves, so you might want to like get it checked.
Yeah.
My knee's nervous. I have Woody Allen knee.
Oh, no.
And he's like, well,
You're back.
Horrible.
When I first had my back thing, like I had a burning sensation in my back, and like and Brittany took me to the hospital. Yeah, I think it was the hospital, right? Emergency. I don't remember.
It's a big building with sick people. That's not important right now.
It was a vet's office, but that's okay.
Anyway, but yeah, so it's always good to just go get checked out, even if you think it's nothing. So
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. That is very true.
I have a 3-day rule. If something doesn't, thank you, Eric. If something doesn't, if it's not chronic for 3 days, it's not worth going because things fade.
Yeah.
They say if you went to the doctor every day.
I had a minor fall. It really was nothing. I just slipped on the wet grass, and I just thought it was nothing. And then it started hurting. Not then. It started hurting that evening. And I just shook it off, figuring, it's just, maybe I sprained it a little bit. It'll get better. Then it took me a couple months to finally say, no, it's not getting better. And I took it in. They did an exam and then an MRI and said, yeah, you tore your meniscus.
Yeah.
So you're on injured reserve for next season when Russell Wilson comes to be the quarterback?
We'll see how that plays out.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to predict it right now. He's going to be the starting quarterback, and they're going to have an extremely good season.
Yeah.
He's a great quarterback. He just was in the wrong place, and he's making so much money from Denver. I love the fact that he signed for them.
I love that it's a $39 million contract, and Denver's paying 38 of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Steelers are to pay $1.2 million to get Russell
I didn't
Wilson.
hear that.
Wow.
9-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah. And another expensive house in Pittsburgh will sell because he and Sienna, whatever her name is, will move there. He still hasn't sold his house here or the one in Denver. That's another $100 million he's sitting on.
Crazy. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
All right. Well,
then next week, huh?
Oh, I didn't tell you guys. I got some work, so that's cool.
Oh,
yeah.
The guy I was working for last year, he messaged me and he was like, "If I buy you a computer, will you be able to like edit 4K?" And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is he paying you too, or just the computer?
The computer is my payment. Yeah.
That's a pretty good payment. That's awesome.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
No, you do it, and you gotta get the computer back.
Right.
What kind of work are you allowed to say? Is this what?
Just advertisements for haunted houses. That's what he does.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's scary.
I thought you were going to say I got work.
Hopefully.
What are you doing? Well, I'm enforcing copyrights on songs on YouTube.
You could probably do that on your smartphone. Oh man. No, I had to like look up all the specs for like 4K stuff, and he's like gave me a budget, and I found all the parts, and I have to build the computer and all that kind of stuff. So
I always enjoy that.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Neat. That's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I like Adam's latest comment.
Wait, I missed it. Yeah.
Oh, geez, Eric.
Oh no, I hope not.
I hope not too.
That's
That'd
awful.
be bad.
Here, let's do a quick check.
Don't put him close to 5 hours on the plane.
Delta. Runway delay.
Oh no.
Oh, it departed at 6:01.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So
good.
yeah, it was supposed to leave at
Just after
3:20.
I was gonna say
You
that was
left
just,
10 minutes
that
ago.
was just 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my, true. Oh.
But at least he's in the air. That's good to hear. At least I hope he's
departed.
still in the air.
Well, he might not be in the air yet because departed just means they backed up from the
That's
gate.
true. He may be they may still be taxiing and waiting their position for takeoff.
But his arrival in Seattle was supposed to be 6:22 p.m. Now it's 8:55 p.m.
Jeez.
But lucky for him, he lives. He can jump on the light rail and get right to his house. He doesn't live on the island anymore, so he doesn't have to worry about the ferry system.
Nice.
I mean, I'd rather them keep planes safe, and delay me for a long time, though.
Yeah.
That's.
I don't disagree with that.
I hate those
I remember-
obnoxious people that are like getting off the plane.
I will warn you. Watchmen is 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Yeah, it is pretty long. I was in the airport, and they had this like thing that went off. Like they're like, there's an emergency in the airport, and I was like, all the things were going through my mind. I was like, what is even happening down at that other gate? Like, why are they diverting people?
Right.
I was freaked out when I was waiting for my plane the one time.
What was it? Did they say?
No, they didn't say. I got on the plane and I left. I have no idea what was happening.
Bye.
Bye.
I was on a plane once, and it was a pretty ugly weather. It was windy and rainy, and the pilot was at the gate kiosk looking through the giant manual they have showing for this wind speed at this conditions. This is the weight we're allowed to take off with, and they were actually going into the plane asking for volunteers to come off to lighten the plane.
Oh no!
So I volunteered, figuring if they're needing to lighten the plane, I just as soon take the next flight. That's fine.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, I just finished printing this lovely cat. You can barely see.
Wow.
Hold on, let me turn the light off. There we go. There we go. Oh, look at my son wanted something he could paint.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So he's a little articulated. It's fantastic. Amazing technology. All right. So well, I think we did it. Did we make it?
Cool.
Yeah. Dan, will there be a Cariata this Saturday?
There will be a Cariata this Saturday. The following Saturday, I think there won't because Rafi's out of town. I'll be getting in late Friday, so we're gonna try to pre-record something though.
Oh, well, very nice. Well, that's lovely, and we'll be here Monday, this coming Monday, to discuss The Watchmen. All right.
I'll try to get my score to you guys in a message because I will not be back for a month.
Aww.
But it was nice seeing you.
It was so great to see you.
Yeah, it was great having you back.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a great week. See ya.
All righty.
Goodbye.